An entertainer.
Yeah, we're also live.
I can't tell yet because I don't have a headset.
Yeah, I didn't put my headphones on. I don't know if it's working.
I don't know. Snozberries. Oh,
Snozberries taste like snozberries.
I didn't do the same thing you did because I was just sitting there staring at you.
What do you mean?
With the little things you got here, the little tie downs.
Oh, you mean with my headphones? Well, I mean, because yours is. I didn't feel it needed to be tied too much.
Excuse me. I got to get it like right up. You know what? I only need it tied down like right here. Well, maybe two plates. Oh, there is one right there. Okay. I didn't do my homework. Sorry. See, even before we start the show, I'm running my mouth.
No, you're good. No, you'll just hang.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah, see? So you got. Yeah, that's a great intro. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, so here we are.
That was horrible crap.
It's the green room, bro.
Yeah, well, and there's also no screen for you to sit there and look at and be like, oh, there's a flat line. There is no flat line.
No,
now.
I just get to look at the green bars on your magic box over there.
Yeah, you get the.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk about your magic box.
Dude, I do have magic lady bits. This is true.
Wow.
What? It's totally true. I do. It's all right. I'm okay with it. Made peace with it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like that?
It is. And it's also
like that.
beer 30.
So what were we just talking about?
Strawberry Spaceman.
We weren't talking about that.
Oh, but we are now. Okay. Strawberry Spaceman.
Is strawberry a new one?
No, this is common. We've done this before.
Done this.
Oh, quite delicious.
You almost make it sound like you're making it.
Well, I mean,
you do so much work selling it, you know. I can take credit.
No, it's I don't know. I guess it's more of just like a team effort. Like
you're the company man, you know.
Well, no, if like we succeed, it's because we did it, and if we fail, it's because we did it. So no matter what, it's a we. I don't know. I guess I try to maintain it that way. I don't know.
Right.
It's my style, man. It's how I get down.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think some of what I was getting to, I was running my mouth the entire time that you were setting up.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah,
dude, you're always running your mouth.
I know. It's like nonstop until the mic goes on. Then I'm like,
oh, excuse me, Jesus.
But anyway, yeah, this is B-Sides in the green room. Mr. Gemini,
Philly D,
chilling.
Oh yeah, we chilling.
Doing a warm up. May do a show. Not sure. Rocking the mic. And I was talking about...
Dude, if we only do a green room, this will be the first time we only did a green room, and we are actually ahead on green rooms over, I'm telling you.
That'll be good.
Well, which is, I mean, it's kind of funny because it's... this is the third series, which like we have like a fact checker and stuff, and we're talking about trying to do like live shows with like call-ins and shit. And
well, see, originally...
So, I mean,
there wasn't need for a green room. Originally, there really wasn't a need for a green room until we started branching off and doing the radio show. That it became like a real... That's where I felt like we really need to have it because...
I'll be honest. I felt like from the get-go we needed the green room because I'm telling you it was always going to be that more structured, not serious, but sincerious, right? That's your word.
The funny thing is it's not even structured. I mean, we have a beginning and an end, but I mean, for the most part, like all that stuff in the middle, like we don't plan any of that. I mean, I've tried and it just falls apart. I'm not a planner. I don't plan. I plan to plan, but that's about as far as it gets. I don't know. Thoughts?
I had to make an adjustment.
Everyone heard that. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, it's
actually no. I think that was an outside noise.
I don't know.
Because once you get over here, you can't really hear much of anything.
Dude, I heard you outside of the mic, but they're not going to hear that on the mic.
No, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's...
You just hear my voice trailing off, and you really can't tell what's going on.
No, you actually don't hear like any of that. You hear my voices, and then that was it.
It just cuts off. Oh.
Yeah, it was just all gone. I can't do anything about that.
It's a good mic, man. It also means we're not likely to hear, crickets. Well, unless we hit the button for the crickets.
No buttons.
What's with you and no buttons? You got buttons.
Yes. Yeah,
you got buttons. You should push them.
Just because we got buttons doesn't mean I got to push them.
Well, I mean, not the blinky red one, because we like the blinky red one. We're going to leave that right where it is.
Well, that one's actually not blinking.
No, but it blinks at times. So it's the blinky red one.
The only time it's a blinky red is if it's paused. And if it's blinky red and paused, we're not doing anything. That's not a good thing.
No, we're paused. Does that pause us too? I'm just stuck here.
Was that like today's special when you took the hat off the mannequin?
Wow, dude.
Did I throw it back on you? Was that too far back?
Wow, I totally wiped that from my memory. Thanks.
Dude, what? It's today's special, man. That's like right up there with Pinwheel. Pinwheel spinning around.
That always reminded me of the movie Mannequin.
With Kim Cattrall.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that
She's
movie.
a hot mannequin.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty hot. But no, as a kid watching that, like the whole concept, and like only you can see me move. I'm like, that dork comes around the corner, the Poindexter.
And it's just a mannequin
and
again.
It's just a mannequin. He's like dancing with a mannequin.
Yeah, right. That's pretty sad. It's a sad existence for that person.
She was wasn't she some kind of Egyptian princess? And
she's some kind of wonderful.
Something like that. I forget what it's been a long time. Do we have to add that to the list too?
It's been a long time since I left you.
No, mannequin. To add that to the list.
Mannequin?
Mannequin. Is that too?
Mannequin? Is that what did I just hear? Mannequin?
Mannequin. Mannequin.
Are you a mannequin or a mannequin?
Off the rails. Well, no rails. Don't worry.
It's green room, bro.
Don't worry. We have no idea where we're going either.
I got a blister today. That sucked. But it was from playing golf, so that's cool. So I guess I can't be too upset.
Yo, so did you happen, apparently, JD, research the thing that I sent, just.
You could have like just gone right past it and would have just been this person that we know but then you had to make the.
Or you just cut it out, whatever.
I don't edit here, bro. This is all live.
Boop, take two. Anyway.
We might as well.
So no, the story that I sent in the chat that we were having. So the stuff that I sent with the book that I'm reading, and
I read some of that, but I didn't really catch what all that was about.
Because JD hit the nail on the head when she started laying out like all the things that she's heard those same. I guess she was looking at the major points of his speech. I'm guessing she watched it or read up on him. I'm assuming she watched it since I sent the video, but really interesting. So this guy was it Dr. Joe Espinoza something.
Yeah, I've actually
I'm reading the book, but
I've seen a couple of specials with him or something where it was like speaking performances and whatnot. So,
well, yeah, he was actually.
So I'm aware of who he is.
He was actually interviewed, I think, by one of our favorites, JP.
I'd believe that.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, I love how you always call him JP, like he's your buddy or something. I was just hanging out with JP the other day.
I love JP, man. I don't know. I feel like I know him. Like he lays it all out, man. He's not afraid to cry.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything right with that.
There is everything right with that. You are correct, sir.
But he says it like it is, and he doesn't make it offensive, which is it's such a hard thing to do. Like he tries not to make it personal, and he doesn't make it offensive.
It's like when somebody swears at you in French, it sounds beautiful, but they're just like eviscerating you.
It does sound beautiful though. Les incompetents.
Well, wasn't the one Matrix where the guy, the Frenchman or whatever, and he's like telling you like they don't even translate, so you don't know what he's saying, but he's like, yeah, just like that. It's like wiping my ass, and you're just like, okay, this guy's a little weird.
Oh, what was his name? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the Frenchman.
It wasn't just the Frenchman. It was
No, that was his.
It was an M word.
Well, he has but that's what they called him, was the Frenchman.
Yeah, well, just because he spoke in French.
No, I think it's because he was supposed to be a Frenchman.
So anyway, this Dr. Joe, right? This
Dr. J.
He started out, like you hear a lot of that in his speech. He does go into, so that's why I used that one when I sent it to you, is not a speech. He's actually having a conversation with a podcaster. I'm not terribly familiar with him, but apparently he's got quite a following. And, he tells kind of the story of how he got started into this whole thing. So the whole thing basically is this thing that I'm always talking about, this mind-body connection. And that, where you are mentally affects how you are physically. You know what I mean? That there's a strong connection between, and so many things that he says, anyway, like I was saying about JD, is so many things that he says are mirrored by a lot of different, spiritual faiths and stuff will say the same types of things. And even if you read certain verses in the Bible, even the most common, Christian stuff, you can see it in that. There's this this whole thing about keeping your spirits high. That you don't have to. But anyway, I'm putting the cart ahead of the horse or whatever, however that goes. But so he started out as a chiropractor, and something along the way, because I gotta read the whole thing to get the whole, because he's telling you what he's trying to teach you, but at the same time he's giving you a little history into his life and how all this came about and everything. But so this guy apparently goes around the country and does different, seminars. So he'll run a seminar for I think it's, the long one is like a 4-day seminar or whatever. And he's talking about some of these experiences that are, and it sounds like you're talking about an evangelical healer. If you've ever heard of those, where, you're healed and they put their hand on you and people, and a lot of it's malarkey. But this guy is saying, he's saying why stuff like that can work. He's saying why taking a sugar pill can work if you believe it works. It's like what you always say. If this is your thing and you believe it, go with it. Yeah. Nothing is wrong. There's no wrong. Unless obviously it involves like murder or rape or,
I would hope so.
Yeah. If it's good.
That's what I say.
I hate to just say good.
If it's something that's beneficial to you as well as those around you, then if that's your belief system, yeah, you should probably just keep going with that.
Right. And, he says the reason all these things work is because mentally they allow you to put your mind there mentally. And that because your mind is there, it doesn't work for everybody that way. But what was he was referring to a drug study where I forget what it was for, a depression drug. And he said, well, what's really interesting is when you take all the people that had the placebo, 4 out of 5 of those people have a positive effect, even though they're just taking a placebo. 4 out of 5 of people taking the placebo, not out of the entire thing. So it's like you're getting as good, if not better effects without side effects from just thinking this is a drug that can help. And it has to, it's crazy. So he went from doing chiropractic to now basically doing all these seminars and stuff, trying to get people. Like I said, I just started reading the book, so I don't know all the little ins and outs of it. But a lot of it really right now seems to be focused on the whole thing about keeping your emotions in a higher vibration. Because it changes. I think one of his big theories was that maybe personal health is more affected by, and I think he said electromagnetism, which is really interesting. Because I've read up on the whole thing with polarity in the human body, and we're basically a walking, talking magnet. That we have, a magnetic field about us, and that field can be disrupted by bad emotions, negative emotions, if you want to say anything that's of a low vibration. So sadness, guilt, fear, pain, resentment, remorse, like all those are of lower frequency, lower vibration. And that, I mean, I can count the number of times, at least on two hands, where my emotional state directly affected my health.
I mean,
and his whole plan is, if it can affect your health in a negative way, it can also affect it in a positive way. And he said, we're actually starting to get to the point where we can physically find these markers and by doing blood tests and all this other stuff and testing in whatever different ways they test for this stuff. But he said, like, he has all these little stories that he throws into the conversation. And one of them was, on one of these 4-day seminars, we tested the, I forget if it's a protein or whatever it is. He's saying that your body has all these genetic markers in them. So you might have a genetic marker in your family for cancer, but it's whether that is turned on or turned off.
Right.
He said, it doesn't matter if he basically says, I don't believe in genetic. There are some things that you can't get beyond. Like if you're born with diabetes type 1, but he said, and a lot of most of other things are brought on by other influences. And then a lot of that centers around the way you feel about yourself and your surroundings. That one of the other things that he brought up that I've heard in several other places that I always try to talk about is the fact that in general, people try to keep us in a state of fear. Because when you're in a state of fear, you don't think straight. And he even goes as far as to say it affects your health. Because when you're in a state of fear, your adrenaline and your cortisol levels are heightened, which is something that you would need if you were, say, running from a predatory animal. Right? I mean, that's something you would need because it would allow you that extra bit of strength or that extra speed or whatever it is you need, but it robs it from other places. So cortisol does horrible things to the body. And if you've ever had an adrenaline rush and haven't actually physically exerted yourself to get rid of it, it'll actually cause your muscles to lock up. So it's really not a good state to be in. And one of the things that he says is so many people in this world live their entire lives in a chronic state of fear of one level or another. And that he attributes a lot of our health problems in general to that chronic state of fear because your body isn't able to heal itself properly because it's out of balance. Interesting. And it's one of the things I've always tried to put words to. And he's if anybody's interested, it's Becoming Supernatural, I think is the name of the book.
I think so.
Yeah. But I'm only at page 50 something. So
yeah, well,
ways to go.
So I've watched a few of his lectures and presentations and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I've already known about this stuff. I mean,
oh, excuse me.
No. I'm trying to say I think about a year or so ago, I started
Yeah, he's been around for a while, but a couple years now. I think 2018, 2019, somewhere in there, this started happening.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
and this is a guy that started out, I was saying, as a chiropractor, and then with his interest in all this other stuff, went into neuroscience and psychokinetic neuroscience and how basically and epigenetics and all this other stuff. And that's, the one other thing that was a great tie-in that we've brought up before was, and I think we've mentioned it in at least 2 different episodes, was the phrase, the human body, the DNA has, I think he was saying it's something like 98% of your DNA is what they consider throwaway DNA.
Right.
And one of the things that came out in the conversation is that maybe it's not. Maybe all that is just building blocks so that you can kind of continue. That there's certain things that you can do. I mean, you can turn on and off different genetic markers within your makeup. Just because you have a gene for pancreatic cancer doesn't mean you're going to get pancreatic cancer unless it's turned on.
Yeah. I think that was probably one of the bigger,
And one of the things, I'll just finish with this because I need to let you talk for a while.
I mean, you don't have to, but all right.
One of the things that I found really interesting is so all of this centers around his idea of like, we need to get back to meditation. And there's this, like, he's very specific about the type of meditation that it is. And it has to do with basically being able to, he even says during a waking state, when you're realizing that you're starting to edge over into what he says, and everybody does this to some extent. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but you have to realize when you're doing it. But that when you think about past experiences and they affect the way your now is, that your energy is coming away from your ability to effectively be in the now. You know, and it's the same thing if you're looking forward to the future, worrying about the interview that you have next week or whether your car is going to break down. You're worried about future events, but it's taking you away from the now. That energy is leaving you to focus on that. And that all of that keeps you from your goals in life. But the meditation thing was really interesting because the meditation is basically, it's like basic Hindu philosophy where the suffering of this world is due to our stranglehold on it, our strong connection to identifying with the body. And that the meditation focuses on realizing that you're not a body, that you are something that controls the body. And that if you let your emotions take over you, that basically you're allowing your surroundings to affect your physical health instead of vice versa. Like allowing your physical/mental health to affect your surroundings, which is the way it's supposed to work because we're creators, right? We're co-creators. That's what we do. All right, I'll stop now. It's your turn. I'm just going to sit my soda.
So
obviously I need to turn the mic on tonight. I'm very chatty.
Psychology, and more specifically, my education within it was abnormal behavioral developmental. So it's what your, the whole nature nurture. So what your genetic predispositions are, as well as the environment that you're raised within, can create all of these things. And the one thing that I think I've noticed the most out of all of the different studies and papers that I've read and the research on it really kind of paints the idea that most of what the psychology world would deem a neuroses or a physical negative outcome within your, whether it's your personality or it's a physical indicator. So, whether you have like chronic pain, depression, anxiety, like all these different things really comes down to, basically, how things have gone for you. So having the, like you were saying, you could be genetically predisposed to do this, but the nature aspect or the environment raising could modify that for the better or the worse. And so a lot of what I've noticed that, again, with all the studies I've done is that, yeah, you having any kind of negativity and then perpetuating that cycle only exacerbates it even further. And before you know it, yeah, you're just wrapped up in your own self-induced world of negativity and pain. So I mean, there's a lot that even science says. There's definitely a lot of truth behind that.
Well, like if you believe that you will fail, you will fail.
Well, that's what's the Henry Ford. I always love my Henry Ford, man. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you are correct.
Same. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that is the quote you threw at me before, but it's pretty much the same thing.
It's one of my favorites because it's true. You know, I mean, I do it all the time when I'm out golfing or whatever, and like either my dad or somebody, and they'll just be like, "Oh, well, you know, you like they do a great shot," and it's like, "Oh, that's a great shot." Yeah, until I screw up the next one, it's like, well, you know, with that attitude, you're absolutely right. You know, if that's the thought you're going into it with is this is what's going to happen, then yeah, man, you're going to suck because you think you're going to suck.
Right. But it goes well beyond golf. And the interesting thing was golf actually came up. This guy, Joe, does like to golf. Of course, he's a doctor. I mean, doctors.
I like him already. Yeah, he's Dr. Espinoza or Esperanza or something like that.
I feel like, no, where's the book? It's around here somewhere. Anyhow, I think it was Spinoza. I think just Spinoza. Pretty sure.
Where's JD when we need her?
Right? Well, next time. This was a bit ad hoc, but that's what the green room is all about.
Well, sometimes that's what we got to do.
Are you looking some stuff up now? Yeah. It's 2 words: becoming supernatural. That's what I want to do. I want to become supernatural. But he makes all these claims, but he says this whole thing started because he was, so like I said, he was a chiropractor, right? Well, at one point, I don't know, he got some kind of an injury where he got 3 of his vertebra.
Espinoza.
Like the discs got compacted, like burst, basically. And then he started doing this meditation. I mean, because he's apparently, you know, he has like a workout and he has
a workout.
Well, I'm saying he's delved in it. He was doing karate for a while. I think probably still does. He was, you know, so it wasn't like he was trying the whole mind, body, everything, you know. And at some point anyway, he got diagnosed with like 3 compressed or ruptured discs or something like that. And that basically started doing this meditation and didn't realize what was happening because, you know, I don't know how much time had passed, but he goes back to the doctor and he had somehow healed himself. Like they took the scans and it was fine again. So this is all his mission, to find out what happened to me and can I have that happen with other people? It sounds like a beautiful, beautiful story, and I'm hoping it's absolutely true.
Well, to me, it goes to the idea of the different individuals who, for their religious beliefs, do not do any kind of medicine. And instead they do...
I'm kind of like that.
Well, it's the holistic prayer healing kind of a thing. And
well, no, it's not that I won't take medicine. It's just I tend to be more... If this is something that's existed for hundreds of thousands of years, yeah. But in general, or if it's something that I need that's life-saving, I might cave on something like that. But I mean, in general, like if I have a rash, do I have to take a pill that's going to throw off the rest of my body for the next month just so that I can get rid of the rash? Like, well, it depends on where the rash is, I guess. But I'm just saying, are there other ways like to cleanse your body in more natural ways?
Buddy, is there another conversation we should be having?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I was just making a reference. Maybe I shouldn't have used that. I'm sorry.
That was oddly specific.
Headaches. Would that be better? I don't know. I don't get headaches either. I got one really bad one once, and I found out it was actually a hemorrhage. But, you know, hey.
I got a bad headache. It's you.
I told you I'm chatty.
Well, yeah, but you do that sometimes, though. It's
Tangent man.
Well, it's always.
But it's not a tangent.
To me, it's always like when I least expect it, and like, and often, at least, I want to say 2 out of the 3, there was statements of like, no, that's it, I'm finished, or like, you know, now I'm going to let you talk, or more or less saying that, you know, I relinquished the mic, and
2 seconds later,
you hop right back on and just like go for like another 5 or 10 minutes, and
well, Well,
I find comical.
I don't like hearing dead air. I mean, when it was just the two of us, it's like there's a whole other person here because, you know, Mike's here. He's waiting for us to talk. He's like, what's going on? You know, talking to Mike. I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking through Mike. Like, I can't leave Mike alone. Poor Mike. Just saying, hey, Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Mike.
Guess what day it is?
It's not Wednesday.
Hump day.
I mean, with me, I feel like it's always hump day.
Well, that's my point.
That's what I'm saying.
Pervert.
So what if I am?
He's gonna sit here. He like cocks his head back and he's like rubbing the top of his belly, like all.
Yeah, like freaking like dodgeball. Yeah, get in there real deep, like boy. He's like just picking his belly button, and the dog's just like. Freaking Justin Long's like all bent over, like.
Who's it changing, man? I thought you were the corraller.
Dude, I ain't shit right now. It's green room.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. Okay.
Yeah, dude, what happens here, Stacy? This is Vegas, baby.
I thought that crossed. There's no actual boundary between. Well, I mean, I guess it's the record button. That's it. There's no actual boundary between the two.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Well, that's where this. Yeah, that's where
bro.
That's where this started. This was setting up the equipment time, which is
our time,
an hour-long thing time
down here.
But it doesn't have to be. We could end early because we could actually get a show in tonight.
I have actually used the ITY rating system spreadsheet
On.
Well, I didn't do it like on an actual movie, but I did a trial run.
Okay, all right.
To start working with it to see how it it's all set up to get it to do stuff. So, it's in
your test run is supposed to be on a movie because otherwise it doesn't prove anything.
Well, I utilized it.
And I don't mean to shoot this down,
no,
I feel like there's so much to this that I'm really not going to have the time to dedicate to.
Dude, I'll do it by myself. I don't care. It's what I want. I want it to happen. It's happening.
That's why the timestamp thing was just so much simpler.
Well, no, that's what this is. He set it up so that you can literally just like.
I mean, if everybody was writing into us saying that we want to see this happen, I mean, are we seeing that? Is there an overwhelming need for an ITY rating system?
There is in my world.
Okay, all right.
I'm doing it for me right now and for the fans.
You do a movie, and then I'm gonna feel like I have to follow up and do my own spreadsheet so we have a comparison.
Well, I'm going to establish the John Hughes Meridian as our starting line, so that'll be our base.
As your personal preferences, which are pretty close to mine, I think.
Well, I'm just going to use it because like our dude said, we just need to start running some sets on it and see what happens. So I'm just going to utilize John Hughes and create my John Hughes Meridian because I think it's the dopest word in the world, and it's like I want to use it, so I'm going to. But yeah. I'm going to do it.
Because if you have to decide how you're going to rate a particular quote or string of quotes, and you have to give it a 1 through 10, I think is what we were saying. And like, of course, I always get this imagery like on Super Troopers, like 9.5 fingers up, like, eh.
Well, and so with the way the spreadsheet's set up, I feel what's going to wind up happening is while I am going to rate 1 through 10, every quote that gets marked, I'm going to take an average of those, and that'll be like its relative number, which we could then use that, like if we have to make it a weighted system so that we get a truer average of everything.
Are you talking more of a scene rating?
Well, just overall.
We were saying that. There's certain scenes that like the whole scene is like, where do you cut it? I mean, maybe in the parts where there's no talking, I guess you cut it there, but there's whole scenes that are good quote after good quote after, like the way they play off each other is Breakfast Club, for example, is there's a whole scene there where they're smoking a J together. You know?
Well, all right. So the scene where he's doing,
it's all quotable.
Life at Big Bry's house.
Yeah.
Hey son, how's your day, pal? Great. How's yours? He's like, hey, how about we go fishing this weekend? Great, Dad, but I've got homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's okay, son. You can do it on the boat.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing itself is like a minute long, and then it just goes right back into where they're just like, what about you? And he does his spiel, and he's like, stupid, lazy, no good, goddamn, freeloading son of a bitch, retarded, know it all, big mouth jerk.
That whole bit right there.
Yeah,
and you forgot. Yeah,
you forgot ugly, lazy, and disrespectful. Shut up, bitch. Go fit me a turkey pot pie.
What about you, Dad?
Yeah, fuck you. Dad. What about
that whole thing?
I think the whole Brian Johnson to that is the whole quoted component, which, I mean, because you would wind up quoting that whole scene, not just a phrase or a statement or a sentence.
If you can, you absolutely would.
I mean, I kind of just did.
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a build up and then there was a trail off at the end. But I mean, yeah, there was.
I don't have time to sit here and quote a 5-minute scene.
But that's what I'm saying is like, that's all, like, do you break that up into separate quotes? Or do you just take that all as a scene and give it, like you said, because, I mean, do we have time for all that? Like, give it a scene rating.
So that's the thing is we establish the John Hughes Meridian, that's going to answer all of those questions, because then it becomes a thing of like, all right, if, we were saying it has to be consistent. So whatever it is that we develop, we just have to develop a consistent system and always do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, like I would say,
and as we do it, it's going to explain itself. Like it's going to design itself. We're going to see where the strengths and the weaknesses are, and it's like, all right, this obviously has to be done this way. Like
for example, you have 10 quotes in that whole scene, right? That you could split up and say, okay, this is a quote, this is a quote, this is a quote. If 6 or more of those quotes have an 8 or a 9, you're going to base it on an average between 8 and 9. Oh, is it that time again?
It's beer 45. Yeah, I drank my first beer.
It's not going to last very long if you keep opening that soon.
They're like 5%ers, man.
Yeah, they're also like bigger than 12 ounce.
They're pounders.
I know.
Yeah.
You're getting ready to have 2 pounds of beer going around your gut. I'm just saying.
Cool, man.
I want to do another freaking hour. Are you going to be awake?
Dude, I don't know if that's going to be possible. That's going to be late.
No.
We got work tomorrow.
It's not late.
It is. And it's also alternate night.
Dude, I get to sell grain. I mean, and accoutrements. I mean.
I like croutons.
Yeah. Anyway.
What?
Nothing.
What?
I didn't say what.
What?
No, I didn't. You got a problem?
I did.
You did.
And then I got rid of it. Now I only have 98 problems.
So anyway, like I was trying to bring up, I think before we turned the mics on, was trying to figure out where I'm taking things right now. And I think what I'm coming up with is I want to support local business. So however that works out, preferably learn something along the way that maybe I could take on my own one day.
I think that's a very healthy position.
I think because of the things I'm seeing around, the things I don't want to accept, I think that's probably the best route for me is staying with small business. Just hoping I can make it work for me. Are you all right there?
No. Yes.
Anyhow.
No. Yes.
Minute
and a half.
1 minute. 2 minutes.
All right, you make up your melon.
Was that how long you were coughing? 1.5 minutes. You're right there. The HIV. What's going on?
Easy, narc.
Ain't no narc. 21 Jump Street.
Dude, that just popped back up on Netflix.
It did.
Me personally, though, I like the second one better. That's one of the few where the second one's better than the first one.
Of the newer?
Just
Well, it used
of
to be
movies in general.
It used to be a show. You're talking about movies.
Yeah, the movies.
I don't think I've watched either one of them.
Bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm missing something.
All right. So I was re-listening to one of our other episodes, right?
Oh boy.
And it was the one where JD's talking about where she's like, yeah, so I've never seen Star Wars, and there's just like dead silence. And you and I both just like looking at her, and we're just like, what? And she's like, oh my God, your guys' faces right now. It's like, yeah, no shit, because you just broke her. I was like, it's like you just said something bad about my mama.
That movie, and it's not A New Hope.
It will never be.
It will never be A New Hope.
No.
But that movie, Star Wars, came out the year I was born.
You old, dude.
Shut up. I know, I just dated myself.
Nobody wants to date you. Not even yourself.
Up.
Dude, well,
Yeah, no. Just ignore me.
I try sometimes. And
There should be a curtain in front of me. Just ignore the
There is a curtain in front
man
of
behind
you.
it. Not in front of me.
Yeah,
Well,
it's right there.
between us.
Well, that's a little different of a story.
There should be a curtain between us.
Should be a lot between us.
Half the time, you don't even want to look at me. I can't.
Just because I want to bend you over doesn't. No, well, I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't.
No, it's because you tried to tell me before. It's because you make me laugh. It's like, well, okay. Mess me up.
But you do.
Just looking at my face. My face is funny.
Yeah,
This is why I'm not good for video.
Secretly,
This is what's going on. He doesn't want to put me on video.
Yo, guess what? Oh, for real. So, nah, for real. Like, all right. So I was going through old stuff, like old files and things. I found our original videoed.
Terrible.
Dude, it's all right. So one, it's lapel mics. It was horrid lapel mics. Two,
Picking up on all kinds of weird sounds.
so it was in my living room, which is like the most echoey room in my entire house. And I had one of my aquaponics setups running in the background. So all you hear is like the water like gurgling and chugging and pouring and like.
Yeah, he's got like this.
Dude, it was fucking hilarious. It was horrible. But you know what? It was
perfect
still a good
little,
conversation.
like, meditation pond with inside your crib.
No, this was when I had like the two of those setups. So it was my smaller one with the 55-gallon fish tank that I was running.
And all the blubbing and the...
No. This was the one that I had just like sitting out. I had the my three Orandas in there, the three wise men. Yeah, it's Confucius, Buddha, and Samdongoi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my black Oranda, my red Oranda, and my Oranda Panda. Yeah, I said Oranda Panda.
Okay.
Because he's white with black spots, like a panda.
I don't judge, man. It's good.
Samdongoi.
I never got into the fish thing, personally. You can't pet them.
Well, you can.
You can, but it's weird.
You know, I'll put my like hands in the pond and they'll like swim up into me and stuff and like just kind of chill out.
Do you feel like that lowers your blood pressure, having fish in the house?
I feel like having running water in the house
Makes me feel like I have to pee like every 10 minutes.
That's you. Me.
I think you get used to it. Like if you have a house that smells like cat pee, you don't notice it because it's your house. You're there every day. But you know, when other people walk in, they're like, "Oh my God." You ever had that happen, man? I've had that happen.
Dude, if anything is peeing or crap in my house, it knows how to flush the toilet. I'm just saying.
Like I had this friend and I walked in his house and I was like, "Do you not smell that?" I mean, I didn't say that to him. I was just thinking that in my head to him.
You probably should have.
Yeah, does that make me a good friend?
No.
It should.
Saying something is, yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on how you, like, dude, your house stinks. Like, obviously, you're not going to open with that, but.
3 C's. Compliment, critique, challenge.
You know, your house is lovely.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
Just going to leave it at that.
No, compliment, your house is lovely. Critique, there's a bit of a pungent cat urine smell. Challenge, what I'd like to see next time. This isn't a joke, bro. This is a thing.
You're going to talk to your friends. Like, what I'd like to see next time is, like, maybe we could Febreze the couch and, you know.
Bro, I do this all the time. I'll use it on accounts. I'll use it for friends. I'll use it for business. I don't care, dude.
We had, so my corporate life, right? And this is going pretty far back. This was like, I don't know, like, so I did mailroom and then I did like data entry for years. And then I got into the death claims unit for life insurance. Which sounds really more. Doesn't sound like a step up, but
sounds like a step into the grave.
When I was working in data entry,
dead end entry,
we had this guy, a nice guy, but we had this guy that was in like this middle management over like I think it was the scanning department. So scanning documents to go into the system and stuff. There was a whole department for that. So he was.
Do you remember that scene in Scanners when that guy's head blew up?
Can you just let me finish my tangent? Just let me. So this.
Can I finish, Larry? Larry, let me finish. Can I finish? Let me finish, Larry.
This guy, like, because of the way the rooms were all set up, you had to exit. Depending on where you were when you left the room, you either had to exit out straight into the hallway or you had to exit through
stage left.
Well, through the data entry room, through the indexing or the indexing room is what they called the indexers. And when he would walk through there, oh my God. And like I said, nice guy. I mean, but he doesn't realize, and he doesn't realize the smell that follows him. But we nicknamed it the snail trail because it would actually it would linger in the air for a few minutes after he walked by.
Like pig pen.
Oh God.
That cloud of dirt and funk that just like followed.
The smell of dirt or the smell of sweat, although it may be offensive at times, like it's a natural smell. It's not weird. It doesn't burn your nostrils.
It shouldn't.
Like this would quite literally burn your nostrils because it was, whether it was him or his wife, or I'm sure both of them, they were serious cat people. So they not only did they have cats, but they would adopt feral cats, give them shots and then bring them into the house. And it's like, good God, those are wild animals. But the stench, I'm guessing these cats would just willy-nilly like go wherever they wanted in the house.
Just pee everywhere.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, this is my couch now.
To the point where I think it was just in everything. Like,
including the laundry.
And like, I'm not one for gossip necessarily, but like when you hear one of your coworkers talk about, oh, I went to visit his, and same thing, they preface it like, real nice guy, both of them, sweet people, because she worked in the building too, his wife, sweet people, but it's like, I walked into their house just to drop something off, and I stepped in the front hall and felt a squish on the rug. Like, you didn't even have to get into the house proper.
I love how I'm sipping as you say squish. Great, thanks.
But to try and describe
dick,
it was like if ammonia could smell dirty.
Dirty.
That's what it smelled like. It was like a rancid ammonia smell. Like if you were to take all the musty, gross, disgusting, dirty smell and add that with ammonia, so that ammonia, while it burns the nostrils, has a clean smell. It's like if you were, as clean as that is, this was just like filthy, dirty, disgusting. Like it would make you gag. Anyway, that was my whole side story. So he would walk through our room and to go to lunch. He would pick up one of his buddies and walk through the room to go to the cafeteria every day at the same time. We'll be like, oh man, I forgot. Oh, I wanted to go to the bathroom during this time. I forgot. I wanted to not be here. Take a break. Go for a smoke.
I want to not be here. Take a break. So you set me up for it. I had to do it. What'd your brother say? When the slam is left open, the slam must be taken.
The snail trail, man. And at the time that I heard this whole story about the squishy rug, at that time,
it's like saying moist. We don't need this.
The squishy rug. I was actually sitting like right near where the door is. Like I was like a desk back from where the door is.
Right near the door. Lord of mercy.
Right by the Lord of mercy. Right by the door. So when he would walk through the room, I'd put my shirt up. Well, after he'd leave. I wouldn't do it until after he left, but I'd put my shirt up over my nose.
Dude, linger.
Oh,
fucking lingerer.
You have to let it linger.
Nobody likes a lingerer, man.
It was terrible. Great guy, though. Nice guy.
That's why he gets the snickle fritz. Because he's a lingerer.
That guy just wants to talk about everything on weed.
You ever see a $20 bill, man? What's going on behind that bush? I don't know.
Red team go. Red team go.
I'm gonna.
Wait, wasn't that a carryover from the Saturday Night Live skit?
Maybe. I think so.
Right? The put your weed in it thing.
Put your weed in it.
It's like this whole store, and this guy's like showing this dude like different like novelties that he could purchase. He's like, look at this, man. And he opens it up, and there's like a secret chamber. Put your weed. Is that like, I want to dip my balls in it?
I mean, I probably do.
I'm all over the place. Sorry.
Yeah.
About time.
Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth. We have a warrant for the Jesus of Nazareth. He's like, oh, yeah, he went that way. I was talking about something about dipping his balls in it. Oh, okay, thanks.
Kids in the Hall? Yeah.
No.
Wait.
The state.
State. Okay. Reminisce. They're both around the same time. So.
Dude, how many airplanes are going to go over tonight? Freaking trains.
We're not picking that up, though, right?
Oh, it's when we talk and it's out there. Yeah, you can hear it in the background.
Oh, you can hear it,
but only in the background. So like when we're listening, like so when you're listening, you got to listen, but like only on. So it's like, it's interesting.
Well, they're all they're mostly small engine planes. I'm
a small engine plane.
There's an airport not far north of here, so
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
No, I couldn't, and I have no desire. I don't want to be in the circle of trust. Just
yeah. So check it, right? I was getting tattooed, and there was this woman that was getting tattooed next to me. Well, not like next to me, but the spot across from me. But
woman?
It was a woman, young lady, and she's getting a chest piece. So it's like in between her cleavage and the lower section of her upper ribs, right? Mm-hmm. And so because in order to do that, it's like, got to go topless, You're just going to let them hang out. But instead of just like, having to sit there and like hold her nipples, which I thought was hilarious, they put stickers on or something, right? Well, they're sitting there debating on what to do, all of this, before they come to the conclusion of like, well, let's just put some pasties or stickers or whatever. And, and I'm basically in the same room. It's 3 women and me. And they're talking about, nipples and covering them up and all this kind of stuff. And the one girl's just like, yeah, boys have nipples too. It's okay. I was like, no, we don't. You're a liar. No. And, you just kind of go back and forth. And it's just like, yeah, they do. I was like, I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me? And dude, they lost it. All 3 of them were pretty much like peeing on the floor.
See, it's different. Ours aren't functional at all.
I mean, depends on what you're doing with them.
I mean, we put some tassels on them, I guess.
Puts the lotion in the basket.
Really not my bag, but
Yo, dude, I was going to call you today.
Uh-oh.
And have you like answer the phone. And as soon as you answer the phone, you'd be like, yo, what's up, bro? I'd just be like, oh, is she a big fat woman?
Why didn't you do that?
Because I was in the middle of some other shit. And
dude,
I got
even if you didn't get me and you left that on my voicemail.
I thought about it.
Like, I'd be losing. I'd be talking to a customer and I'd be like,
oh, because I was re-listening. That was on that same episode I was re-listening to, and dude, like I couldn't finish it then, and I almost started pissing myself like re-listening to it for like the 3rd time. Like, dude, I find this funny. Like, I really do. Like, I find this like funny.
That because the reaction was just like instantaneous.
Dude, you lost it, and then JD lost it, and then I lost it before I even finished it.
Well, you were lucky you got like 3 words out.
I did. I was like, oh, is she a big friend? And that was it.
Because I just
I couldn't even finish fat. Yeah, that was hilarious. Dude, that's what cracks me up. Is that like talk. It cracks me up? Is like me cracking me up.
It's the voice because it reminds me of one of our old buddies.
Dude,
it's just that voice all the time.
A 1.5 foot long hot dog. Pretty much. Which I hope he listens to this episode.
I don't know if he listens to the green rooms. I'm not sure.
We should make him.
I don't know who listens to the green rooms. People probably just look at that like it's throwaway. I don't know. But then there's probably this other group, like you always say, that look at this as the real show. I don't know.
I mean,
if I could, if I could throw a tangent on a tangent and tangent that to a tangent, I don't know.
Well, so I've actually been talking to my people about seeing if we can turn this into basically the same thing, but just on another platform, just so we can get like a larger audience reach.
Well, it's a possibility.
Because I mean, we already technically we already drink their beers. So while it's not sponsored by, it certainly is represented and, influenced by.
That would certainly be interesting. Of course, there'd still be certain restrictions, I'm sure.
I don't know at that point. I'm not quite sure what it wouldn't be much.
I mean, like,
it'd probably be the same thing, like no religion or like politics where we just like go off the handle about shit. Like, so no soapbox in it.
Does that mean we could actually do guest appearances?
Well, so speaking of that,
it'd be like a local celebrity, you know?
No, my buddy Scott, he lives like 20 minutes from me. I've already put it to him. I was like, yo, bro, what's up? Like, why don't you go do this? Like, we've already been doing this, that, and whatever. And he's just like, every other Wednesday, I can do that. So he can actually be available next week. So if we can set that up, he'll come up to us and we can all sit and chill and drink and like bullshit. Pop off a couple episodes. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm really excited about getting together with our boy. That's happening soon, right? Talking about that?
So our other cat, yeah.
We're allowed to talk about that here. I mean, definitely, right?
We can talk about it wherever, I guess. But yeah, no, so as of right now, we're setting up for like next month to like sit and chill and kind of do stuff. So in the meantime, I'm going to try to figure some stuff out to see if we can't just actually turn that into something. So that might just be like dry run, pre-record using his equipment to see how it goes.
Hell no, I want to do a full on.
We got to do a test run.
Because yeah, I guess. But
so that I'm setting it up hopefully with him so that in like 3 weeks we can do a test run, actually get hopefully a recordable episode out of it, and then from there realize we can do live, and then we would do it.
I mean, does he have a platform where he's taken calls before?
I mean, he does radio stuff, so he knows how to do that shit.
But I mean, he's never done it on his radio.
Well, so his radio station's basically always just been music. He just added the other podcast like a couple of months before us.
So it's weird because like at first it was like a buddy of yours was doing a favor. And now I'm not sure where this is going, but
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like he seems pretty into it.
Oh yeah, he wants some of this.
I think it would be funny. I mean, I'm speculating, I know, but I think it'd be a hoot. It just sounded like my dad when I said that.
Well, so, and I think you and I from the get-go, even when we were doing like those shitty lapel mic recordings and stuff, our people who have been listening from the, have always just been like, you guys are going to do it. Like, this is a thing. They always put it on us as we're completely different than everything else out there. That's
what I'm shooting for anyway. I mean,
well, yeah. Well, so, yeah, while we can't on the radio show get on a soapbox, but in here we really can't do that either if we're being like belligerent about it. It's one thing to take a stance. Yeah, it's one thing to take a stance. There's another thing to like stand on top of the mountain, planting your flag, and like, calling everybody heathens.
Well, like I was saying. Take it from the angle of comedy.
I got an
because as a joke, it's you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you can point it out and make light of it because everybody has to deal with it without getting on a soapbox. I think that's what kind of the conclusion I'm coming to is that I would never consider myself a political program. But at the same time, there's people politics that comes into play.
I would take it to the
I think we should
extreme point of saying that you and I have very much been on this spiritual journey for a very long time. At different points in our lives, we've been at different levels, but we've always been moving towards the idea of, transcendent growth, being positive always. So my point on all that is, as you and I,
a long, hard journey to get there.
No shit, but as you and I have done that, when we were at this place where it's like, we feel the need to have to do or say something, just as we were talking about, these alien entities being of this supreme power, always being positive and respectful. When you get to like OG status and you have this ability to say, just like Jordan Peterson talks about, the difference between good and evil, or, good and naive and all that, is like, I know I can do these evil things, but I choose not to. So having that strength and power over yourself to be conscious to make those decisions. So you and I being in that position, we're not gonna do something negative. So the likelihood of us getting on a soapbox and being belligerent or truculent is slim to none.
I've had my moments. I've truly flown off the handle once or twice, and I don't think we ever kept. I think that's the OGs.
Once, I would legit say once, where I felt the need to be looking at you like, time for parlay, bro. Like, yo, I'm going to call your manifesto on yourself right now. Like, but the universe kind of helped us on that one.
Yeah, because, I made that clear, and we haven't brought up the manifesto in a long time, but I made that clear in the manifesto that if it obviously becomes something that's too emotionally difficult, but then again, I have this struggle that if we're bringing a show that's true talk, shouldn't that be broached? But I have to get into a place where I'm comfortable doing that without making it feel overly dramatic. You know what I mean?
I would say if you're being negative, it has more to do with yourself than anything else. So if you're projecting,
you always say that, yeah.
So if you're projecting and you're doing it in a
hurtful,
well, not even so much hurtful, but even just allowing it to, what's that thing? It's like
to eat at you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like the saying that if your words aren't picking me up, they're probably putting me down. That's not always going to be the case, but more times than not, if the words you're choosing to use with somebody isn't making them feel better, somehow or another, it's probably putting them down. It at least offers the opportunity for them to feel that way.
Right, but there's another aspect to that, though, that I think is the reality that people like to hear, is the fact that, if my arm's cut off, I'm not going to say, hey, look at that, my arm's cut off. Wow, look at that arterial bleed.
I don't know. I mean, if it's doing it pretty cool,
like I'm pretty sure I'm going to be very emotional about that, and is that not something that you would want to, you're not going to shut off the mics when that happens. So it depends. Like, you kind of have to, but some of that, I agreeably, within reason, I think at least once I flew off the handle, where later on I was like, yeah, that wouldn't be fun to listen to.
I mean, I went back and re-listened to it. I thought it was pretty good, and like, so honestly, my perception in that situation, I was basically at that place where I was attempting to do the whole parlay thing, and you were
still going.
Well, no. You were actually almost to a place of like legit closure where it seemed like you were coming to an end. So just as I basically was like pulling back to be like, all right, cool. Well, we made it out. We made it through the rough stuff. We're good to go here. It got to a place where you're just kind of like, you stopped and we're just looking at me. It was just like, what the F? And like, I can't like.
There's two ways to look at that too, because of how early that episode came on. But the other way to look at it really quick, is the fact that
this is totally your mic night.
We lost ourselves in this,
I feel like we
and
usually
that's a good
do.
thing. Like I lost myself at that point. The mics disappeared, and that's what we're shooting for. So in a way, if I was listening, that's the real stuff I want to listen for, not this dramatized, pre-written, BS. It's like if I happen to work myself into a tizzy, that's also part of it, isn't it?
I'm gonna have to find that episode. I'm gonna have to. I'll have to get you a copy so you can listen to it.
Yeah, that was pretty early on.
First series,
first edition. Yeah,
it was actually It was the last episode we ever did for series 1, which we never finished nor published.
Right.
Yeah, so there's still 6 episodes for series 1 for Green Room, and I'm telling you that were never published.
It's gonna be worth money one day.
I mean, maybe we make a B-sides of the B-sides? Is that, I don't know.
Right, because if I believe it'll happen, right? So that'll be worth money one day. We'd be like the Wu-Tang of talk radio.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose of what we're doing here?
What's that?
This isn't for money.
No, it's not.
This has never been for money.
It would be great, like I was saying before, if I could find a way to bring in some money.
Well, I mean, if you put on that favorite little dress of mine and get out on that corner again.
You know, it hurts, man.
It only hurts the first time.
It's like I'm a thing to you, you know? Like something you can just throw about.
Yeah, I'll throw it out. You just throw it back. Hey-o.
See, it's all jokes to you.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
All right, I think we should. What's the term? Should I get off the pot? I think
Shiza.
we should take a quick break and do one right now. Do it. Do it.
I'm going to have to disagree.
All right.
But we can take a break.
See, we should just. Oh, whatever. Extra green room. Bonus material.
This could be the seaside.
The seaside?
Yeah. Where we sell seashells because it's the seashore. No, yes, maybe
No.
so.
No. Yes, no.
Whatever. Yeah, no, we yeah, let's go ahead. Let's take a break. Let's do that.
Yeah. Peace.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, yeah. We got to do our thing.
what, dude?
B-sides in the green room.
Roll your eyes harder, why
with
don't you?
Your hosts.
You want to throw some air quotes in there too? Get a little
No,
head
'cause
roll
nobody
with the
would see
Z
that.
snap before. Yeah, exactly.
I just have to make it sound like I'm doing air quotes. Look at that. I just make it sound like I'm doing air quotes. I didn't raise my hands at all.
No, you
because
put,
that would be silly.
you
This
put
is
the correct
radio.
emphasis on the wrong syllable.
You need to wrap this up.
You hit me.
I lightly slapped you.
All right, email us.
Oh, yeah. Email us at directionsinmusic.org. That's IMTELLINYOU at directionsinmusic.org. All right, you try.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You already did it.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Talk
Talk all this shit. What?
I already figured. That's exactly what you sound like. You know that, right?
No, that's what I sound like when you do it, but yeah, whatever.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A B-sides in the green room.
You're the B-sides.
Besides what?
Besides your mama.
Dude, you say something about my mama? That's messed up, man.
I was B-sides your mama last night. No.
Dude, let's leave moms out of this, all right? Because if we leave moms out of this, I'll leave this out of your mom.
Ayo!
Take it back a little bit, right?
Oh,
Yeah, B-sides in the green room. Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Yeah, be good to yourself. Be good to everyone else.
Love y'all. Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.